All right, there are many kind of people you'd find in gym class. Yeah, many kind, but I have a few stories of when I was in high school. Up there I go. The first story takes. Oh my goodness, I suck at this so bad. The first story takes place during badminton, which I probably don't have to explain how the rules work, but even that's not really important to the story. So basically, just so you know, I was always that quiet kid in school. Like, I didn't really talk to anybody. I was just kind of there. But because I was that quiet kid, there were those people who would be like, especially in gym class, who could not lose to me. Like, I am that quiet one, and they could not lose to the quiet kid. Like, no, they would not be able to live with. They would not be able to live with themselves if they lost to the quiet kid. That's where this story comes from. But yeah, we were playing badminton. Basically, there would be like 8 games of badminton going, 6 or 8 games of badminton going on at a time, and then you'd fight one person at a time, which is a really weird word to describe badminton. Yeah, you got a point, and then you go up to the teacher, say if you won or not. And if you do, whoever has the most points by the end of the day wins a big bar of chocolate, which makes no sense because it's gym class. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm about to compete against this one person for a point. So our game's just kind of going normal. It's kind of going normal badminton, hitting back and forth, blah blah, game points. I'm counting. I'm like a point ahead of him. And then he says like, all right, I'm winning, and then he proceeds to announce the wrong point count. So I was a quiet kid, so I didn't really say anything about it. I'm like, all right, maybe he just lost count. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So we continue the game, and I'm always counting in my head too. I've always counted in my head. And then not long after, I surpass him again, and then bam, and he reads the score, what our current score is, and he's apparently winning still. It's like, okay, wait a second. Of course, I didn't say anything before. I didn't like argue with him or anything because I knew I was winning by multiple points. It was like, okay, so apparently I'm a couple points behind him. I'm just gonna start counting out loud every time. So I let him have his score. But every time one of us got a point, I announced the score. So there's nothing he could have done to fake it. And then once again, before our time limit was up, I surpassed him. It's like, yeah, that's right. No. No, this ain't happening. Ain't happening. You ain't gonna cheat me. Of course I didn't actually say that. That's what I was thinking. But it wasn't over yet. Even though the game's over and I won. I saw him turn around and look right at that whiteboard, right where that's where his teacher's keeping track of the points, and it's like, oh no. I'm just thinking right now, it's like, he's gonna tell the teacher he won. I know it already. I've been in multiple classes with this guy. It wouldn't surprise me. And I've known for a long time he was one of those people who just could not lose to me or just didn't like to be in my presence. He wasn't moving yet. But I didn't run, but I was speed walking. Over there. I could not let him get that point. After the amount of times I've surpassed him. Okay, I'm getting sick and tired of this jump right here. This brewing stand one. But yeah, I go up to the teacher and say like, okay, I got the point. And then bam, I got the point. Good. And I turned around and he gave me the most like disgusted look ever. Like I just completely robbed him. So, and that kind of pretty much confirmed what my suspicions were. Shortly after, I overheard him talking to his friend to saying how he won and I cheated. So yeah, that's the thing. But here's another badminton story. So here's what we have to do before and after badminton. Like, the gym doesn't just have the badminton that's already set up. At the beginning of the class, we have to set it up ourselves, which is pretty simple. But there are those few psychopaths who will tie the string of the net so incredibly tight. It'd be just very difficult to undo it. It's like one of those ones where you're just like picking at it with your nail until it finally just like a little piece of it comes undone. We were taking the nets down. I was untying one of the knots because after like a couple minutes, I finally get it. I'm about to do the last pull on the string. And then one person from the same class decides to walk up to me, take over the tying, and just do that last pull. And she was trying to take credit, like, really, would you really think that was hard? And it's like, bruh. Of course, me being quiet, I didn't say anything. I just kind of accepted, like, whatever, I don't actually care. But I did care. I did. It was so annoying. Also, I hate this jump so much. I don't even know if I want to start the next story until I finish this jump. I'm so tired of it. It's getting a bit more consistent, but this is medium. Why? Oh my goodness. It's just full of really strange. Why did I reset? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I got a checkpoint. The next story happens with a different game, actually. It's called handball. Yeah, it's basically soccer, but you throw the ball instead. And you can't travel with the ball, too. In my school, there are 2 different types of gym classes. There's like the normal gym, and then there's like the non-competitive gym, also known as lazy gym. And that's the one I took. But yeah, I was in that lazy gym. And of course, you get a lot of people who are not very active. So majority of the people in the class actually would just do like the absolute minimum. Like they would do barely anything. And because of that, I would win a lot. Me and my friend and like a few other people would always dominate in handball. Like we would annihilate everyone. Like they wouldn't stand a chance. Because we would actually try, they would actually get upset sometimes for some reason. Like the thing is, I'm not as competitive as I would be in like normal gym class, but like I'm not also just standing around or walking. Like most of these people would just be walking. They wouldn't, it's like they just wouldn't care. But what those people who are walking would also complain because we're not giving them a chance. Like yeah, we're not giving you a chance. You're actually giving me a chance by just not doing anything. Like one time, someone was just like about to pass the ball to someone. And because those 2 people are doing the absolute minimum, they, for some reason, I don't know if their eyes weren't working, but I was right in between them. They thought it'd be a good idea to pass the ball while I was like right in between. So I just did what anyone putting in the slightest bit of effort did, and I just caught the ball. And oh, they didn't like that. They did not like that. We're playing handball. Like I'm not just gonna let it happen. And they weren't asking. They were telling me to give it to the person who was being passed to. And of course, me being quiet, I didn't say anything. I just threw it to one of my teammates. Yeah, maybe just move. Then maybe maybe you will be able to get the ball. But then there's like in one of my classes, there's one person who actually put in lots of effort, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Back to badminton. One of my greatest games of badminton I've ever played was in gym class, and oh, it was so good. It was so good. All these points have been very free, and then I go after this one person who I already knew beforehand was like more competitive than the others. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a bit more tricky to get my point. We're just going back and forth for like the first like minute or two. And I was like, all right, this is normal. But then that last point, we were tied at this point. The time limit we have wasn't even half over. Oh, there we go. Like most of our time wasn't even up, and we were going back and forth the entire time. It was at least 5 minutes of just back and forth in badminton, and we aren't just like hitting it back and forth like very easily. No, we were spiking that thing. We were spiking it. We were trying so hard to get each other out, and it just wasn't happening. One of us would be like far away from the spike, and then we each would just like leap. We would leap. We'd throw our bodies on the ground, land on our back just to get that ball. Not the ball, the birdie. And it was amazing. After all of that, the time limit was up. The teacher was calling everyone back, but we weren't done yet. We were not done yet. For like the next minute, we kept on going at it. Until finally, he won. But that's fine. That's fine. It was still an amazing game. I wasn't even upset about losing. Usually what people do is they'll shake each other's hands at the end of a game. Though none of my matches really felt handshake worthy, considering I could just do a normal pass a feet away from someone and get a point. But this game, it was handshake worthy. We shook each other's hands, and it was like, why did I go over here? Bye.